Begin in a comfortable supine position with pelvic tilts, exhaling your hips back to shoulders, inhaling forward towards tailbone, and then begin a circle of your hips like your pelvis is a bowl of water and the water is spilling around the brim of the bowl. And go in both directions. Breathe into the sides of your lungs and then find your neutral pelvis. And inhale your arms up and along your ears or whatever range of motion feels good for your shoulders today. Inhaling to reach up to the sky and overhead in a comfortable range of motion. And reach through your right fingertips, reach through your left fingertips. Exhale, hands over chest and begin to alternate your arms. One arm reaches overhead as the other returns down to your hips. Deep breaths into the sides of your lungs. Feel the ground supporting your spine in neutral. And float your knees on up to a tabletop position. And hinging at your hip sockets, exhale to tap one foot down to the mat. Inhale back over hip socket. And you can add in your opposite arm. Just like you're walking, find that nice easy glide of head of femur bone in hip socket and arm in shoulder socket. And if you'd like a little less challenge, you can have your hands and feet on the floor, still doing that cross-lateral pattern, opposite arm and leg lifting and exhaling to return to the mat. And then with a neutral pelvis, exhale to let your right femur bone fall open to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left thigh opens to the left as right hip and right knee stay still. So just maintaining level hips, one femur bone moving at a time, connecting into your breath and deep core. Exhale into bridging. Curl your tailbone towards the sky and peel your hips up towards the sky. Lower down one vertebra at a time. Exhale, tailbone curls to sky. Peel on up just to your shoulder blades or however high feels good to your spine today. Articulating through your spine, or if you prefer, you can hinge up and hinge down. At the top height of your bridge, also optional to do a little pulsing of your hips down an inch, up an inch. And then lower down through center, or on the way down, make small figure eights. Right hip scoops down and up, left hip scoops down and up in a figure eight pattern. And slowly lower your hips back down to the floor. Inhale at the base, exhale, peel right back up to the bridge. And again, making small figure eights down to the mat, or just roll down through center if you prefer. Inhale at the base of your bridge. And then sweep your arms out to a shape of a letter T and let your knees slowly lower to the left side. Exhale using obliques, return your knees and hips to center. Rolling onto the outer edge of left foot. Exhale to press to center, and then to the right side and center. And if you want more challenge, you can float your knees up to a tabletop. Same motion, keeping shoulders and neck soft into the floor. Or if you want more challenge still, maybe extend your legs straight up to the sky. Whichever variation feels best for your body today. And breathe. And the breath is a tool, not a rule, so just breathe however feels good to you. You can extend your left leg down to the floor with your left leg straight or bent, your right leg straight or bent, depending on how your hamstrings feel. And then circle your right leg around in your hip socket. These can be small or large circles, depending on where you can keep your neutral pelvis. So just make the circle large enough that you can still maintain stable and still hips in a neutral spine position. And just circle out your ankle, point and flex your right ankle. And lower your right leg to the ground. Left knee bends and extended up to sky. Again, your leg can be bent or straight, both legs bent, both legs straight, whatever feels good for you. And again, circling your left leg around Nice, easy glide of the head of femur bone and hip socket. Both directions. Breathe into the sides of your lungs. Back to center and just point and flex through your ankles. And then circle out your left ankle. Curling toes in, fanning toes out, both directions. And lower your left leg back down to the floor. And shake it out. And bend your knees back in and lightly roll over to your left side with your left arm as your pillow supporting under your skull. Extend your right arm in front of your chest and then open your arm to the sky. Breastbone shines to sky. Exhale to untwist. Knees and hips stay stacked, just rotating through your thoracic and cervical spine as you support behind your skull. And make sure you can see your hand, the whole range of motion. Adding on, if you'd like to, moving into circles like your arm is the hand of a clock, moving counterclockwise, circling overhead, back behind you, and in front of chest. And reverse the direction. Again, spiraling right around your central axis. Feel the nice easy glide of your shoulder blade on your rib cage and feel the rotation through spine. And then you can outstretch your legs, head, hips, and heels aligned, and lift and lower your top leg. Flexing your ankle up, pointing your ankle down. Breathing into the sides of your lungs. If you want more challenge, you can come up onto your forearm, stacking your elbow underneath your shoulder. Bend your lower knee, stack hips, and exhale to lift your hips up, stacking shoulders as well. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Stay with that, or if you want more challenge, stack your feet, exhaling up to a side plank. Shoulders stacked, top arm and top leg can lift towards the sky. Breathe into the sides of your lungs. And exhale, lower your hips to the floor, bend your knees and take a nice side stretch, breathing into your left lung. Exhale your arm down and roll back up through your spine and onto your other side. Right arm is your pillow, little lift under right side waist, and rotate right through your thoracic and cervical spine. Hips stay stacked, knees stacked, like your back is the binding of a book and you're opening the front pages of the book towards the sky, and then exhale, close the book to the ground. Book openings. Adding a variation, like your arm is the hand of a clock and you're circling around, up along your ear, back behind you, and down along your hips. Deep breaths. When you're ready, reverse directions. Circling down along hips, breastbone shines to sky as you reach back, and then overhead, circling back to the starting point. And then extend your legs, lift your side waist, and lift and lower your top leg. Reach through your crown of your head and reach through your feet as your leg lifts and lowers. Top arm can stabilize right in front of your chest for balance support. If you want more challenge, float up onto your forearm. Lift your shoulder away from your elbow, and then exhale to bend your bottom knee and lift and lower your hips up and down into that modified side plank. If you want more challenge, then stack your feet, exhale up into a full side plank, and then top arm and leg lift to sky. Or simply hold the side plank, modified or with feet stacked. Deep breaths. Exhale, lower your hips down, stack your shins, and take a deep breath into your right side. Exhale, come to a comfortable seated position, legs crossed, arms lift to sky. Exhale back to heart. And then make your way on up to all fours, spreading your fingers wide onto the mat. Curl your toes under And extend out your right arm and left leg as navel lifts to sky. And switch left arm, right leg, reach long. And right arm, left leg, extend out, parallel to the floor. Opposite limb balance. Reach through your tailbone, reach through crown of head. Float your knees off the ground just an inch with shoulder blades wide across upper back. And lower your knees down. Float your knees up, and then lift your hips up and back to inverted V. Still shoulder blades widen across rib cage. Fingers spread wide into the mat as well, and then press through your toes. Come on forward to a plank position. Lengthen to lift your right toes off the ground, and lengthen to lift your left toes off the ground. If this feels too challenging, you can stay in your quadruped with opposite limb balance, the last variation. Otherwise, continue to stabilize through your upper back and bend your elbows, lower down softly to the mat. With hands along your rib cage, float up your eyes, head, neck, and breastbone as shoulders melt away from your ears. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, head, neck, breastbone, float up into prone extension. Exhale, breastbone, neck, and head lower to the mat. Inhale, reach your arms down along your hips. Palms face down. Inhale, head, neck, breastbone, float up. Exhale, lower to the ground. Of course, stay wherever you are comfortable. If it's more comfortable with hands along ribs, stay there. Or maybe hands rest under forehead. Or if you want to add on, you can open your arms like wings and exhale. Pull your hands down to your hips as you roll up into that extension. Arms widen as you lower to the floor. And then sweep your arms up and overhead along your ears. And float up opposite arm and leg like you're swimming in slow motion. A little lift under abdominals. Inhaling, opposite arm and leg lift. Exhale to lower, strengthening back extensors. If you want more challenge, float up all four limbs and pulsing opposite arm and leg. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, and lower down. Bend your elbows into a cactus shape for scarecrow. Float up your forearms, your breastbone, your elbows, lower down elbows, breastbone, forearms. Elbows lift, externally rotating upper arms, breastbone lift, elbows lift. Reach your arms up and overhead along ears. Bend your elbows, lower elbows, breastbone, and wrists. Forearms lift, elbows lift, breastbone lifts. Reach out overhead. Bend your elbows, lower elbows, breastbone, and your wrists. Then bring your hands down along rib cage, pushing back to child's pose. Take some deep breaths to your low back. Inhaling forward to a quadruped position, shoulders over wrists. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhaling up to all fours. Exhale back, child's pose. A few more times, inhaling forward, exhaling back. And then walk your hands over to the right side of the mat and reach your hips back to heels. Breathe into left lung. Inhale up, walk your hands over to the left side of the mat. Exhale back and take a few breaths into your right side. Inhale up and back to center. Curl your toes under, lift knees, send your hips up and back to inverted V. Shoulder blades widen as you walk your hands back towards your toes, hands to shins, lifting your heart up halfway. Root through your heels and hinge up to standing. Inhale, arms rise to sky, big breath in, tuning into something you're grateful for. And exhale, hands to heart. Have a beautiful day.